Okay, I was going to say I see a big orange square in place of where I used to see you. This is People of the State of Michigan versus Tony Kern Smith, docket number 20-279FH. And Mr. Kern Smith, I have a current address for you on North Ball Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how far did you go in school?
I have a couple of college certificates.
Okay. And would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Kern Smith, you have the right to an attorney. Mr. Cornish is your lawyer, and he is present, and you've had a chance to consult privately via breakout room prior to us going on the record here. And Mr. Cornish, is it a plea to the charge then?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Allen, would you read the charge, please?
In the People of the State of Michigan versus Tony Kern Smith, file 20-279-FH, State of Michigan, County of Ingham. In the name of the people of the State of Michigan, the prosecuting attorney for this county appears before the court and informs the court on or about February 25th, 2020 at 700 North Pine, City of Lansing, Ingham County, the defendant did in count 1 knowingly or intentionally possess methamphetamine contrary to Michigan law. This is a felony punishable by up to 10 years and or $15,000. Unless sentenced to more than 1 year in prison, the court shall impose license sanctions pursuant to Michigan law, and this offense was committed against the peace and dignity of the state of Michigan.
Mr. Kern Smith, you're being charged here with possession of methamphetamine. That is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison. And have you had enough time to talk about this charge with your lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Do you understand the charge against you?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Do you have any questions at all about what we're doing today?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
And how do you want to plead?
I plead guilty.
If your plea of guilty is accepted by this court, it means you won't have a trial of any kind, and you'll be giving up the rights that go along with a trial. I'm going to go through those right now. You'll be giving up the right to a trial by jury, or if you didn't want trial by jury, trial by judge. You'll be giving up the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, and the requirement that the prosecutor would have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You'll also be giving up the right to have the witnesses against you appear at the trial and to be able to cross-examine them, and to have this court order any witnesses that you might have to appear for trial. You'll be giving up your right to remain silent at the trial and not to have that silence used against you, or, on the other hand, the right to testify yourself at the trial if you wanted to. There's also some things you need to know about your appellate rights. One is that you can't appeal many of the issues that you could if you had gone to trial and been convicted. And even if you could appeal some of the issues, you have to ask the next higher court for permission to hear your case, and they have to agree. You don't get an automatic right to appeal. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Also, if I accept your plea, it means you can't come back later on and try to say that the plea was the result of some promise or threat that nobody told me about today. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Also, it means that you cannot come back later on and try to say that it really wasn't your own choice to plead guilty today. Do you understand that?
I do understand.
Is there a plea agreement, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is pleading guilty to the charge on the information. There's a sentence agreement pursuant to People versus Killebrew that the defendant's upfront jail is not to exceed 12 months in the Ingham County Jail. He is also currently serving a sentence in Shiawassee County, and the parties agree that this sentence will run concurrent to that one.
And Mr. Cornish, is that a full and complete statement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Mr. Kern Smith, is that also your understanding of the agreement?
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
And do you agree with it?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
There is an agreement about your sentence, and that is that it would be no more than 12 months in jail. If for some reason I decided not to go along with that, I would tell you before I sentenced you, and I'd give you a chance if you wanted to take back this plea and start all over. You got all of that?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Has anyone promised you anything else that has not been said here right now in order to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone used any threats?
No.
Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor, it is my own choice.
And are you doing it, pleading guilty because you believe you are in fact guilty of this offense?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe I am.
Okay, then tell me what you did on or about February 25, 2020.
And the date in question, I did knowingly possess methamphetamine, was driving a car, stopped at a Quality Dairy, and was approached by police officers under the suspicion of open intox, at which point in time they searched the car and my person and found me in possession of meth. And
Okay. And you knew it was there,
I did, Your Honor.
and you knew that it was meth.
Yes, Your Honor, I knew what it was.
Okay, so did all of this happen on North Pine Street in Lansing, Ingham County?
Yes, Your Honor, it did.
Has the court complied with MCR 6.302, Mr. Cornish?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you aware of any promises, threats, or inducements other than those already placed on the record, Mr. Cornish?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Allen?
No, Your Honor.
The court finds the plea is understandingly and voluntarily made without undue influence, threats, or promises of leniency. It is an accurate plea. It's supported by the testimony. The plea is accepted. And Mr. Cornish, how does sentencing on June 29th at 2:45 sound to you?
Very good, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, between now and then, since we have plenty of time, if you would discuss with your client the possibility of his consent to being sentenced in the same fashion that I took his plea. He does not have to do that, but if he does, then we'll set it up that way, and if not, then we'll have to have him brought here for sentencing in person. But if you could just address that with him at some convenient point in time.
I can get a hold of them. They'll set me up a poly video. I can do that next week.
All right, very good. I'm sorry, did you say something else?
I just said thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, thank you. And that
My 2 o'clock is.
will conclude this hearing, Mr. Kern-Smith. And you are all set. You heard that sentencing date. And you'll also be interviewed from someone from probation who will talk to you so that they can prepare the report that I'll use for sentencing. Okay, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Okay, you're all set. You can tell them there at the Shiawassee County Jail that you're all done.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.